Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Magic Monday. Yes, it is that day of the week where some people go, oh, it's Monday. Not me. I'm like, yes, it's Monday. Let's get this week rocking and a rolling and a starting. Now, if you had done your prep on Sunday or Saturday, over the weekend for this coming week, hang on, I got pop up. There we go. Got rid of all the pop-ups. I hate these pop-up, like popcorn. So if you've done your preparation from the weekend, you already know what's going to be happening this week within reason. You also know what to expect this week within reason. And the reason I keep saying within reason is because things happen, things pop up. Have you allowed flexibility within your schedule? And I pretty much have a lot of flexibility in my schedule on most days. There's a couple of days where it's sort of like, nope, it has to be. So I totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, so we're talking about Magic Mondays. So by prepping over the weekend for the coming week, just taking an hour out of the weekend to prep for the coming week, relieve the stress of Mondays. Like going, oh my God, it's Monday. And if you're already prepared for the week, you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. And this is what I love about the weekends. Is I get to do all this prep. My calendars are all in alignment because some of you may know this. I like to use a paper planner. I've got my colored pens and highlighters, and I like to color code my appointments and things that are in my calendar so that I can tell at a glance by the color, what am I working on? Am I going to be working on somebody's family tree? Am I going to be doing some work for a VA client? Am I going to be working with Mailbox Power Chat? Have I got a personal appointment set up? Do I have something for Zephy? Do I have meetings that I need to be in? Just by the color that is in my calendar, I can very quickly see what I'm supposed to be doing this week, or on the day, or within the hour type of thing. And so it's important to get a system that works for you. Yes, I also have my electronic calendar set up, and the only reason I have an electronic calendar set up is because I have an electronic appointment system where I give somebody a link, they go to that link, it books them into my calendar. They see what times I have available, and it books them into my calendar. And that's the only reason I have an electronic calendar. Otherwise, everything would be written down pen and paper. And I think I'm also getting a little lazy with the electronic calendar because you can set little reminders. You can have it go ding, ding, ding for you 10 minutes before my appointment, 30 minutes before my appointment. Or if I've got to drive somewhere, there's usually an hour and then a 30-minute warning. Anyway, Magic Mondays, it's all about the mindset, mind, body, and soul. You get those guys in alignment and you are good to go. So we've got an acronym for magic. And I was like, oh, because I got a friend who likes acronyms. And so I thought, what can we do with magic for an acronym? So I looked around, and there's a lot of different ones out there. So I've pulled pieces from different ones that I liked. M, movement. Get up every morning and go walk, go for a run, whatever. Do some form of movement, whether it's yoga, Pilates, going to the gym, going for a walk. I get movement. Zephy, I got to take her for her walks. So always be moving. And then on my breaks, when I get up on my breaks, I got my little speaker, my little Bluetooth speaker thingy here, and I put the tunes on because it's got a good bass to it, so I don't have to have the tinny laptops. Although the laptop speaker's not too bad, but this is better. And for a little speaker, it puts out a heck of a punch. And the description and the link for it's in the video below if you want to know what type it is. But yeah, I put the tunes on and I will go dance for 5 minutes. I'm taking like a 5-minute break. I try to get up once an hour just to move. So getting that movement in is very, very important for your day, especially if you're at a job where you are constantly sitting for hours on end. You have to get up and get moving. And I learned this one kind of the hard way. Like, I'm always moving anyway, and even when I'm on an aeroplane, I'm sitting there. I've always got the feet moving. I very rarely sit still. I feel sorry for anybody sitting there right next to me because I'm always moving. I cannot sit still. My feet may be tapping. They may be doing their own little dancey thing. I can sit there and read. I put my headphones on. I have El Divo going in the headphones while I am reading a book, an actual physical book, and it has to be a novel and it has to be a paperback. That's just the way I work. Well, actually, sometimes hardbacks work too, especially if the story's really good. But my feet are moving, and it could just be sliding my feet backwards and forwards. It's doing this with my ankles, it's doing some form of movement. And when you're sitting for long periods of time, doing movement with your legs helps reduce the risk of deep vein thrombosis. So there is a purpose to that. And I learned a lot about that when Brad ended up with that issue. He ended up with 2 pulmonary embolisms, one in each lung, one clot in each lung, and that happened when we were at 30,000 feet. It passed through his heart and into his lungs, and he actually blacked out on the plane. And fortunately for us, there was an ICU nurse on board the plane, and he was brilliant. And when we landed, we got taken off first because they had ambulances waiting for us. They got because we had the ICU nurse on board, and I am so thankful and so blessed that this guy was on board the plane. Because he was on board the plane, we didn't have to make an emergency landing somewhere in the US. We were flying from LA back to Washington, D.C., where we lived in Virginia, and so they got permission to literally floor it and come straight in. They moved planes out of, they did whatever they had to do to make sure it could come directly in. We got in we were already half an hour early anyway on our flight times. They were predicting us getting in half an hour earlier. We were in an hour and a half before that half hour early time. So we got people in, so people got to DC 2 hours ahead of schedule. But we literally the pilot got permission to literally floor it and get us and come straight in without having to go into a landing pattern or anything else because of a medical emergency on board. And then we were the first, everybody was told to stay seated until we were removed from the plane. And so we were the first ones off. The air steward helped us carry our luggage, our carry-on stuff down the stairs to the ambulance, which was piled all around my feet. And we were taken off to the hospital. But at that time, we did not know what the problem was. It wasn't until later in the day when we got the report that he had the blood clots in his lungs that had passed. And it was because he had done 3 almost back-to-back cross-country flights, so 3 5-hour flights over a 4-week period. And that had developed the clots, because when Brad gets on a plane, he sits there and he's always on the bulkheads with the window next to him. He puts his pillow up there and he's out for the flight. He doesn't move during that 5 hours. He might wake up and have a snack or a meal if they were serving those, but he basically slept the entire flight and not move. Whereas me, I'm constantly moving. So if you're sitting in a desk job, make sure you're doing something to move. Get up every 5 minutes every hour and walk around, dance, whatever, but get some movement going in your body. So M is for movement. A is for alignment, being in alignment with your mind, body, and spirit. Whatever way you do that, some people like to meditate, some people like to do yoga, some people like to have their quiet time, their journaling, anything like that. It is being in alignment with your mind, body, and spirit and bringing them all into alignment. When they're all in sync, everything seems to fall into place. Gratitude. Begin every day with a grateful heart. I love this thing. I love waking up in the morning and going, oh, what am I grateful for today? I love that. I was tossing up, do I put inspiration or do I put intention? I was thinking of these I words. And intention, what intention are you setting yourself for today, for this week? What inspiration, what is inspiring you this week or today? Do you change your daily inspiration? Do you have different things you do each day that inspire you? And then your connection with yourself, your connection with others. Work on those connections. Who can you connect with today that will help you move your business forward? Who can you connect with today that you can help move their business forward? Who can how can you reconnect with yourself? And that goes back to being in alignment with yourself. So use the C for connection as a way of communication. There's another C. Ooh, communication, connection with communication. Where you reach out to people in your business, whether it's a vendor. And now remember, you've got customers and clients, but remember, you also have your peers and you have your vendors that you work with as well. You need to be in communication with all of them and connection with all of them. So don't just ignore your vendors and your peers in favor of your clients. Yes, you need to pay attention to your clients because they keep business going, but your vendors help provide you with that service or that product. So you need to have a connection with them. You need to have a relationship with them, because if you don't have a relationship with your vendors, then if something goes wrong, are they going to favor you over somebody who has a relationship with them? Think about this. It's like I always tell travel professionals, I tell them, have that connection with your business development manager for whichever vendor you use, whether it's a cruise ship, a tour company, an excursion company, whatever company it is that is providing your clients with that service. Have that connection with your business development manager, because if something goes wrong when you've got a client who's, say, on board a ship, who are you going to reach out to? You've got to have that relationship with your business development manager that you know that you can reach out to them to say, hey, we've got this problem. Or you could turn around and say, hey, we've got a couple of clients who are really good clients of mine that are going to be going on this particular cruise, this particular tour, this particular trip, whatever it is, and it happens to be their 25th wedding anniversary, or it's their 50th birthday, or whatever the occasion is. And you can work with your business development manager to help do something just a little bit more special for them, to make their trip just a little bit more special and a little bit more of a wow factor for them. It could be comping them for one of the specialty meals on the cruise ship. It could be, and setting it up for them as a surprise, saying, particular date, I want you to go here. The meal is on us, or whatever. As part of your wedding anniversary. And I have done this for clients in the past. I've gone to my business development manager and said, hey, I've got a couple who's going on this cruise. It's their very first cruise. They've never been on one before. What can we do to make it a little special? And I always ask my business development manager, because they have some great ideas. But if I didn't have that relationship with them, I wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that I did. So have that connection with your vendors. Have that connection. If your order arrives wrong, and you call up your vendor and go, hey, you sent the wrong order, and they're going to go, okay, and you start getting a little riled up with them. But if you have that relationship with them, where you can call up and go, hey, it's Helen here. We just received this order. I don't recall ordering this. Can you just check the order and see what I actually ordered, please? And they go and have a look and go, oh. And they go, well, you ordered this. And I go, well, that's not what I got. But you can have that friendly conversation with them. You can have a conversation with them about an incorrect order, but do it in a friendly way instead of saying, hey, you guys sent me the wrong order, da-da-da-da-da. And it's just taking that time to have that special connection with them. And now they're like, oh, Helen's calling. She's a really good client. Okay, we need to take extra special care of her. So make sure you have those relationships with your vendors. Have them with your peers as well, because you can learn from peers. You can have peers that have other people within your industry that specialize in an area that you do not specialize in. Think about that. If you have a specialty, yes, you cover, and I will use travel because I know the industry so well. Yes, you could be somebody that does all travel for all people. That is just too broad. I've narrowed down my niche, New Zealand and Australia only. I may do the occasional group cruises in there, but I'm working on how I'm going to incorporate that, and there may be a minimum number of people required for me to even look at the group. So I'm specializing in those areas, but I have people within the industry that I know that are specialists in other countries as well. Like I've got somebody who is a whiz with Italy. I've got somebody who is a whiz with Ireland. I've got somebody who's a whiz with Norway. And the Ireland and the Norway are people who actually grew up there in those countries. They know their country like I know New Zealand. So we know we've got that extensive knowledge of that area. Why would I've never been to Ireland. I just know what I've learned about it in the books. I know what I've learned about it from the vendors who go there, the virtual tours they've taken us on with those. Why would I do a disservice to my clients by me booking their Ireland trip when I've got a colleague who knows Ireland better than I do and can give them that amazing trip? What is that going to tell my clients? That I'm more interested in their needs than I am in the commission check that I would make off that. So that is why I like to have a network of people who are specialists in different areas of different things. And that is why you need to develop those relationships with those who are in the same industry as you. So think about that. If you're in a particular industry, what is your niche market that you absolutely can do that? Yes, I can book a trip to Ireland, but I can't do it as well as my friend can do it because she knows Ireland inside out and back to front, and she can send them to all of those little off the beaten path places to give them an amazing experience. All I know is all the hotspots, all the tourist hotspots. That's all I know. I don't know much about the onboard thing. Send me a client to send to New Zealand. oh my gosh, we can take them off the beaten path like nobody's business. So when you're thinking about why would I want to know my peers, because they specialize in areas that you don't. Find those that specialize in the areas that you don't, so that when you need that knowledge, you have somebody that you can go to, or you can refer somebody to, and you can have that commitment thing going. So, okay, so magic is movement, making sure that you're moving. At least get up once an hour and walk around for 5 minutes, go for a walk, yoga, Pilates, work out in the gym, whatever it is. Movement. A is for alignment, aligning your mind, body, and spirit into one through meditation, through journaling, through whatever means that you do to do that, so that everything is working in sync. Gratitude, being grateful every morning, having that grateful heart. I is for either an intention or inspiration. It can be for both. So what is your intention for the week? What is your inspiration this week that is going to inspire you to move forward to what your goals are for this week? And then your connection with your clients, your connection with your vendors, your connection with your peers. Work on those connections, the communications and connections. So magic, movement, alignment, gratitude, intention or inspiration, connection, and communication. That's it from me for now. Have a super fantastic sparkling day. Let us know what's magical about your Monday in the comments below, and we'll catch you later on. Hack